Hello and welcome to yoga. We are going to start with our feet out at the width of the mat, palms facing forward, starting with sunflowers. Inhale, reach the arms up, crossing the arms at the top. Exhale, we hip hinge, sweeping the arms, crossing at the bottom. We'll do that a couple more times, adding that ujjayi breath. So in yoga, we try to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose, keeping the mouth closed, keeping the throat closed. We are pulling the navel in towards the spine. That breath should be constant and steady. And now let's do that 2 more times. Sunflowers. We're just moving and breathing. When you finish your second round, you're coming to mountain pose, Tadasana, at the top of the mat. We've got our feet at the width of our hips and our shoulders are relaxed. Sun salutation, Surya Namaskara. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, we swan dive forward, folding into Uttanasana. Let your head be heavy. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, left foot steps back. Inhale, we rise up to the lunge. We're gonna pause right here. Make sure all toes are pointing forward, both knees are bent, feet are staggered. Stepping back to downward facing dog. Feet should be about hip distance. You are looking at your feet, framing the head with the arms. Tailbone reaches up to the sky. We're coming forward to plank pose. You're on your knees or your toes. Elbows are tucked in tight. Chaturanga hover. Upward facing dog, tops of the feet. Press back to down dog. Left foot steps forward. Inhale, rising up to the lunge. Toes pointing forward, both knees bent, stepping back to down dog. And once again, we're coming forward to plank, knees or toes, chaturanga hover, up dog, tops of the feet, press back to down dog. From here, we walk or jump, feet to hands, folding into Uttanasana. Let your head hang heavy. Inhale, monkey, lifting the heart center. Reverse swan dive up. Exhale, standing back arch. We are pressing the index fingers together. We are opening up the front side of the body. This pose is a gentle back bend. Keep your knees bent, keep your core muscles engaged. And now we inhale, exhale, closing the pose. We're gonna do one more sun salutation, this time the B series. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sit into chair, Utkatasana. You are dropping your bottom just like a squat. Keep the chest lifted. Weight should be in your heels. Now we inhale. Exhale, folding forward, Uttanasana. Let the head hang down. Inhale, monkey. Exhale, left foot steps back. Inhale, we rise up to the lunge. Make sure the toes are pointing forward. Both knees are bent. Stepping back to down dog. Here's that upper body flow. We're coming forward to plank, knees or toes, chaturanga hover, up dog, tops of the feet, press back to down dog. The left foot steps forward. Inhale, rising up to the lunge, exhaling to down dog. Coming forward to plank, drop your knees if you're struggling. Chaturanga hover, up dog, down dog. Let's walk or jump, feet to hands. Folding into Uttanasana. Inhale, monkey. Slowly reverse swan dive up. Exhale, standing back arch. Pressing the index fingers together, opening up the front side of the body. Really focus on your breath. And now we will inhale, exhale, closing the pose. So we're back to mountain. Muscles are feeling warm. Standing nice and tall. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sit into chair pose, Utkatasana. Once again, drop your bottom, keep the chest lifted. Now hands, prayer position at the heart. We are twisting to the left. Right elbow comes to the outside of the left knee. We pull that left shoulder back, turning the torso to face the left. See if you can bend your knees just a little more. Drop your bottom a tiny bit lower. And now we come back to center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, sit, Utkatasana, chair pose. You should be able to pick up your toes, peel your toes away from the mat. Weight is in the heels. Hands, prayer position, twisting to the right. Left elbow comes to the outside of the right knee. We pull the right shoulder back, turning the torso to face the right. And once again, see if you can bend your knees just a little more. Drop your bottom a tiny bit lower. Now we come back to center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. First 2 fingers and thumb wrap around your big toes. Let your head just hang down. Variation of Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Now release the hands to the mat. Let's walk or jump to plank pose. We are dropping down onto our forearms, clasping the hands together. Your body should be in a straight line. Holding this forearm plank. Now slowly turn and rotate. Let your left hip bone barely touch the floor. Come back to center and pause. Now we turn and rotate. Let the right hip bone barely touch the floor. Come back to center and pause. So you're gonna alternate, taking that at your pace. Careful that you're not plopping that hip down. Let's do that one more time each side. And then when you finish, you're gonna drop your knees, cross the big toes over each other, sitting back into child's pose, forehead resting on the mat. See if you can drop your bottom a little bit closer to your heels. And this is a good time for you to sip some water. We are walking the fingertips closer to the front edge of the mat. Take your time moving from extended child to down dog. Curl the toes under, press the hips back, looking at your feet. Tailbone reaches up to the sky. Downward facing dog is an energizing pose. We're bringing fresh oxygenated blood into the brain. Careful that you're not forcing your heels down. We will inhale, lift the heels away from the mat. Exhale, slowly lower. And now do that again. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we lower. One more time, lifting and lowering. And then hold your down dog. You're just looking at your feet. Inhale as you lift the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend your right knee, open up the hip, turning that hip out to face the right. We are gently looking under the right arm. Bring the awareness to the left foot. Make sure you're not forcing that heel down. Be careful with the Achilles tendon. Bring the hips square to the mat, step the right foot forward. See if you can get that foot as close to the front edge of the mat as possible. Take your time coming up to the high lunge. And now warrior 2. Hips come up slightly, left foot turns out 10 to 15 degrees. Bend your right knee 90 degrees. We are looking over the front fingers, shoulders back and down. We're gonna glance down and check that alignment. No matter how tall or short you are, you want to use almost the entire length of the mat. The front heel should be lining up with the back arch, that midpoint of the foot. And really try to get this front knee bent at 90 degrees. Now we straighten the right leg. Let's tip over into triangle pose. Right hand resting on the lower right leg, left arm reaches up. You are making a triangle shape with your legs. If your flexibility is limited, you can use a yoga block placed directly inside the lower right leg. We will now revolve this triangle. Take your left hand, place it on top of the right foot, turn your head and look to the right, reach the right arm up. We are turning towards the right. This pose is what we call a spinal twist. Research tells us that spinal twists are really good for the health of the spine, also for digestion and for the internal organs. Now take your time coming back to that regular triangle pose. Rebend your right knee, place the forearm on the thigh, left arm reaches up and over, extended side angle. Now if you have a bad back, you want to stay here with this support. Optional challenge, you can take your right hand to the left wrist, both arms completely straight. So we're unsupported. This is going to make it harder. We still have the front knee bent at 90. And now we inhale, come back, warrior two. Exhale, torso shift only to reverse warrior. Left hand resting on the back of the left leg or the sacrum. Your right arm can be bent or it could be straight. And now we inhale, exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat, pull the right foot back. Here we are in down dog, alternate heel presses. Coming forward to plank pose, you're on the knees or the toes. Your spine is neutral, so you're not piking your hips up, nor are you sagging your hips down. Bring your right knee in. We're gonna crunch that knee in between the two arms and then come back to regular plank. Take your left knee, crunch that knee in between the two arms, come back to that plank. Now, if you're having a hard time, you can drop the opposite knee during the knee crunch portion for the modification. Fingers should be spread out wide like starfish on the mat. Focus on that breath. Once again, we're using our Ujjayi breath, breathing in through the nose, out through the nose, if possible. And now we're gonna do that one more time each side. When you finish, drop your knees, cross big toes over each other, and this time we're gonna place our hands on top of our feet, forehead resting on the mat. This is full posture balasana, child's pose, giving the shoulders a chance to rest. We are sipping water throughout the practice. Transition, moving to extended child, reach those arms forward. Moving to down dog when you are ready. Curl the toes under, press the hips back, looking at your feet. Framing the head with the arms. And now we inhale, lift the left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend your left knee, open up the hip, turning that hip out to face the left, and you're gently looking under your left arm. Now we bring the hips square to the mat, step the left foot forward. Try to get that foot as close to the front edge of the mat as you can, coming up slowly so you don't get dizzy. We're in our high lunge, and now we're going to warrior two. Hips come up slightly, right foot turns out 10 to 15 degrees. Bend your left knee 90 degrees. Take your gaze over the front fingers and check your alignment. Glancing down, making sure you're using almost the entire length of the mat. And now we straighten the left leg, tipping over into triangle. Left hand resting on the lower left leg. Right arm reaches up, making that triangle shape with your legs. Now we revolve this pose. Right hand on top of the left foot. Turn your head, look to the left. Reach that left arm up. Turning the torso to face the left. And again, if your flexibility is limited, a yoga block is really helpful here. You can get a yoga block anywhere. You can get them on Amazon, Target, Marshalls for just a few dollars. Now come back to that regular triangle pose. Rebend your left knee, place the forearm on the thigh, right arm reaches up and over, extended side angle. If you have a bad back, you're gonna stay right here. Option, if you wish, make this a little more challenging, left hand to the right wrist. Both arms are completely straight. We're glancing down to make sure that left knee is bent at 90. And now we inhale, come back to Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale to reverse warrior. Right hand resting on the back of the right leg or the sacrum, and you're looking up towards that left hand. Now we inhale, exhale, cartwheel the hands down to the mat, pull the left foot back. Here we are in down dog, alternate heel presses. Take a moment to bicycle out. We're gonna go back to that upper body flow that we did in the sun salutation. So we're coming forward to plank, knees or toes, internally rotate the elbows, chaturanga hover, upward facing dog, tops of the feet, press back to down dog. Now I'm gonna give you the option to lift the right leg. This is gonna make it more challenging. You don't have to lift the leg. Coming forward to plank, or we call that a 3-limb staff if the leg is up, chaturanga, up dog, tops of both feet, press back to down dog. Option to lift the left leg, coming forward to plank, chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Let's do that 2 more times with or without the lifted leg. Checking in with the breath, never holding your breath. Now when you finish, you drop your knees and you choose either extended child or placing your hands on top of the feet, whichever one works better for your shoulders. Now we're getting ready to move into some balance work. For one of our balance poses, you might need your towel or your yoga strap. Extended child, let's slowly move to down dog. Curl the toes under, press the hips back, looking at your feet. Let's walk or jump, feet to hands. Folding into Uttanasana, let the head be heavy. Clasp your hands at the low back. Straighten the arms as we come into standing chest expansion pose. You are letting gravity take over, so we're not pulling on the shoulders. And if your neck feels tight today, you're just turning your head from side to side. Releasing the hands to the mat, we're gonna try for standing table. If you have the flexibility, you're placing the palms of the hands on the floor directly in front of your feet, and you're looking forward. If that doesn't work, monkey pose. Fingertips come to the mat or the shins. Now slowly reverse swan dive up. Exhale, closing the pose. We're gonna find a focal point. We're looking for something that's not moving, a fixed stationary object you can keep your eyes on while we balance. So the right leg first, we're going into tree pose. Take your left foot above or below the knee, index fingers pressing together, reaching those arms up, and your right knee is bent, supporting leg always bent. Now we've got 3 things that help us with our balance. It's the breath, try to use that Ujjayi breath, the focal point, and the core muscles. You are engaging the core. If you lose your balance, no big deal. Reset, start again. We're gonna stay here in Vriksasana, tree pose, for 3 more breaths. It is normal for the right leg to fatigue. The more we practice yoga, the better we get at balance and the stronger we become. Now we release. Take a second to shake that right leg out. We're gonna do the same thing on the left. So you're putting your weight on the left, find your focal point. Right foot comes above or below the knee. Index fingers pressing together. We are standing really tall. Ujjayi breath. Try to breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. Strong contraction through the core. And again, if you lose your balance, just reset, try again. Don't get discouraged. We are practicing yoga. Now we've got 3 more breaths. Tree pose.
slowly release and shake those legs out. Second balance pose, you're gonna put your weight back on the right leg, take your left hand to the left ankle, reach that right arm up. This is called King Dancer preparation. Now, if you're having trouble, I recommend staying right here. Full posture, we can tip forward, fingertips reaching to the space in front of you. Careful that you're not pulling on your leg. Now you have an option to create a bind here. You can take both hands to the left ankle if that works. Your supporting leg is bent. And as always, we are listening to the breath. Some people unconsciously hold their breath when they balance, and we don't want to do that. It will make balance much, much harder. Now we release. Take a second to shake that leg out. Same pose on the left side. So you're gonna put your weight on the left, right hand comes to the right ankle, reach that left arm up. If I'm having a hard time with my balance, I'm gonna stay here in preparation pose. Full posture if you wish. We're tipping forward. Option to create that bind, you can take your left hand to the right ankle. Left knee is bent. We are contracting the core muscles. Keep your eyes on your drishti, your focal point. If you ever want an extra challenge when you're balancing, you may close your eyes for a couple seconds. Really makes it much, much more difficult. We take that focal point away. And now we release. Shake that left leg out. We have one more balance pose. This is the pose you might need your towel or strap. So you're gonna put your weight back on the right. Left hand, take your first two fingers and thumb, wrap around your left big toe, reach the right arm up. I'm gonna take my knee out at an angle, and if I'm struggling to balance, I'm gonna stay right here with the bent knee. Full posture, I can extend my leg part way or all the way. Stand up really tall, shoulders back, chest lifted. We're not slouching forward. Supporting leg is bent. Contract your core. Focus on your breath. If you lose your balance, no big deal. Reset, try again. Now we release. We have one more pose, same pose, one final leg. Put your weight on your left leg. Find that focal point. Right hand, first two fingers and thumb, wrap around the right big toe. Take that knee out at an angle, reach the left arm up. Here's where you have a decision to make. Are you struggling to balance? Keep your knee bent. Full posture, you can extend your leg part way or all the way. We're standing up really tall, crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. My left knee is bent. I am breathing. Keep your eyes on that focal point. And now we slowly release. Done with balance. Take a second to shake those legs out. We are back to mountain, Tadasana. Inhale, reach to tall mountain, lift from the rib cage. Exhale, we swan dive forward, slipping the hands under the feet, palms facing up. This is a variation of Uttanasana, giving us a really great stretch through the Achilles tendons, the soleus, the gastrocnemius. Just let your head hang down. And now release the hands to the mat. Let's walk or jump to plank pose. So you're on your knees or your toes, and once again, your spine is neutral, so your body's in a straight line. You're gonna take your right hand to the left shoulder, give that shoulder a tap with a pause. Bring the hand back down. Left hand to the right shoulder, tap with a pause, bring that hand back down. So you're gonna take that at your pace a couple more times. We're not turning the hips out. So you wanna keep your hips completely squared to the mat. So like if your hip bones had eyeballs, they're looking straight down at the floor.
Constant contraction through that rectus abdominis, that big muscle in the center of your belly. Gravity's trying to pull that muscle down. Your job is to pull the navel in, really engage. Now we're gonna do that one more time each side. When you finish, drop your knees, cross big toes over each other. Let's go to extended child. Now the next pose we're going to is the bound dog, and it's really important to have our form correct as we go into downward facing dog. And the best way to do that is to start in extended child. So whether you're 5 feet tall or 6 feet tall, when you're in extended child, you're gonna have the perfect distance between your hands and your feet to set up for downward facing dog. Keep your hands and feet right where they are. Curl the toes under. Press the hips back. We are now in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha. Now this next pose, the bound dog, you might need your towel or yoga strap. It does require a bit of flexibility. And this is a pose we only do when our muscles are very warm. Take your left hand to the outside right ankle bone, and you're gonna turn your head and look to the right. Now, if you can't reach that ankle, take your towel or strap, wrap it around the ankle, and use that towel as an extension. Now bring that left hand back to starting position. Your thumbs should be lined up looking at each other when you're in down dog. Take your right hand to the outside left ankle bone and turn your head, look to the left. This is the bound dog. Excellent stretch for the back side of the body, for the lats, for the obliques. Now we return that hand to starting position. We're gonna drop down onto all fours and we're gonna go into our pigeon series. 2-part pigeon. You might need your towel or strap for the first part. I'm on my hands and my knees. I take my right knee, I slide it forward, heel comes close to the groin area, extend the left leg back behind you, sit up really tall. Now reach your left hand for your left ankle. We're gonna create this bind here, and if you can't reach, you're using your towel or strap wrapped around that ankle. Elongate the spine, and you're using your right fingertips to keep you upright, so you're not slouching down onto that right hip. This series is a hip opening series. So many of us are really tight in our hips, and that causes problems with the lower back. Everything in the body is connected. Now let's release that leg, walk the hands forward, second part of the series, bringing the forearms down. If you have the flexibility, you might bring your forehead down as well. Stay here, listen to your breath. And now pick your head up. Let's bring that torso up. We're coming back to all fours. Take your left knee, slide it forward. Heel comes close to the groin area. Extend that right leg back behind you. Sit up really tall. Reach the right hand for the right ankle. And again, you're not pulling on the leg. Use that towel or strap if you can't reach. Left fingertips are keeping you upright. Elongate the spine. You might have one hip that's tighter than the other. That is really normal. We are breathing. Now we release. Top of the foot comes to the mat. Walk the hands forward, bringing those forearms down. If you have the flexibility, you might bring the forehead down as well. And now we pick the head up, bring the torso up, swing that right leg out in front, then extend the left leg out.
we're coming to boat pose. So we have 3 options for boat. The first option is the easiest one. We've got our fingertips pointing towards our body. Bring the legs to tabletop. So you've got your knees over your hips, chest lifted. This is for people who have a bad back. You can support that back, or if your core muscles are just weak. Second option for boat, I'm gonna keep my knees bent, but now I'm extending the arms, so it's gonna be a little harder. Third option is harder still because I'm gonna extend my legs at a 45-degree angle, and I'm reaching those arms out, crown of the head reaches up towards the sky. Boat is a core strengthener. So you wanna practice this one at home, try to get that core a little stronger. Now bring those legs down. Inhale, exhale into a seated forward fold. If you can't reach your feet, you're using that towel or strap. And now take your time coming down onto your back. We are moving to happy baby. You're gonna bring your hands to the insides of the feet, soles of the feet looking up at the ceiling or the sky if you're outside. You can add that rocking motion side to side if you wish. And now bring your feet to the mat. Let's extend the legs out straight, coming to corpse pose, Shavasana. Feet a little wider than hips. Reach your arms out to your sides, palms facing up. You may cover your eyes with your towel or just close your eyes. And now we rest. On the inhale, bring the knees into the chest, hugging those knees in. And then exhale, holding onto the knees, let's begin to make small circles, massaging out the lower back. Pausing in the center, we reverse the direction of that circle. Pausing in the center, reach your arms straight out to your sides. Let your knees fall to the left as you turn your head to the right. And now we inhale, bring the knees back to center. Exhale, slowly lower the knees to the right. Turn your head to the left, spinal twist. Let's roll over onto the right side of the body in a fetal position. Placing your hands on the mat, use your arms to slowly, carefully help yourselves up to a comfortable seated posture. We will gently drape the hands over the knees, drop the chin to the chest, take your head in a semicircle only. So we're just going from one side to the next. Careful that you're not throwing your head back. And now we're pausing in the center, looking straight ahead. We soften the gaze, releasing the arms. Let's inhale and exhale. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, think of one thing you are thankful for. Exhale, namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you feel better than you felt when you started.